Bangladesh's Rapid Action Battalion, or RAB, was once seen as a beacon of hope in the fight against terrorism and crime. But over the years, this elite force has become synonymous with fear, extrajudicial killings, and human rights abuses. Today, we explore how RAB went from protectors to perpetrators, how political leaders have used them to consolidate their own power, and the tragic stories of those who have fallen victim to this dark chapter in Bangladesh's history. RAB was formed in 2004, with a mission to combat terrorism and organized crime. They were given extensive powers, including the ability to detain suspects without a warrant. While their early years were marked by some success, it wasn't long before reports of extrajudicial killings began to surface. These crossfire incidents, as they were often called, were justified as necessary actions against dangerous criminals. But the reality was far more sinister. Behind these actions are key individuals who played significant roles in these human rights violations. Notably, Benazir Ahmed, who served as the Director General of RAB from 2015 to 2019, has been accused of overseeing a period marked by numerous extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances. Under his leadership, RAB's tactics became increasingly brutal, with little regard for due process. Benazir Ahmed's name is now synonymous with RAB's darkest days. His tenure saw a surge in the number of crossfire deaths, and his role in these abuses led to his inclusion in the U.S. sanctions list. Despite these allegations, Ahmed continued to rise in prominence, eventually being appointed as the Inspector General of Police, a position of even greater influence. In December 2021, the United States imposed sanctions on several RAB officials, including Benazir Ahmed, citing their involvement in gross human rights abuses. Alongside him, other high-ranking officials like Mushtaq Ahmed, who was also sanctioned, played a role in perpetuating the cycle of violence and impunity within RAB. Mushtaq Ahmed, who served as a commanding officer within RAB, was another key figure implicated in these abuses. His leadership in various RAB battalions contributed to the culture of extrajudicial killings that has plagued the force. Like Benazir Ahmed, Mushtaq Ahmed has faced international scrutiny, but accountability within Bangladesh remains elusive. The impact of RAB's actions is not just a matter of statistics, it is about the lives that have been lost and the families that have been shattered. One such story is that of Ekramul Haque, a local politician in Tanaf, who was killed in a staged crossfire in 2018. His death shocked the nation when an audio recording surfaced, revealing the horrific last moments of his life, as his family listened helplessly over the phone. Despite public outrage, justice for Ekramul and many others remains elusive. Ekramul's case is just one example among many. In a similar vein, Limon Hossain, a college student, was shot by RAB in 2011, allegedly mistaken for a criminal. The incident left Limon permanently disabled, and despite evidence pointing to his innocence, his family was subjected to threats and harassment in their pursuit of justice. Limon's story became a symbol of the widespread abuses carried out by RAB, sparking national and international condemnation. Yet, these stories are only the tip of the iceberg, in a country where hundreds of others have met similar fates. The actions of RAB have not gone unnoticed on the global stage. In addition to the U.S. sanctions, UNESCO has expressed deep concern over the human rights situation in Bangladesh. UNESCO's involvement came particularly after the death of Mushtaq Ahmed, a writer and activist who was detained by RAB under the Digital Security Act, and later died in custody in 2021. His death drew widespread condemnation, and UNESCO called for greater protection of freedom of expression and the rights of individuals in Bangladesh. UNESCO's response to Mushtaq Ahmed's death highlighted the broader issue of RAB's role in suppressing dissent and curtailing fundamental rights. The international community's increasing focus on RAB's actions has placed additional pressure on the Bangladeshi government to reform its security apparatus and ensure accountability. U.S. sanctions and UNESCO's condemnation were wake-up calls, but they were just the beginning. The international community is now paying closer attention to RAB's activities, and the pressure is mounting for Bangladesh to reform its security forces. However, as long as RAB remains a tool for political manipulation, true change will be difficult to achieve. The story of RAB is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power. As we move forward, it's crucial to hold those responsible accountable and to ensure that human rights are protected. Only then can Bangladesh move towards a future where justice, not fear, prevails.